Listen, we got breaking news to discuss involving Shedeur Sanders. Coach Prime Deion Sanders discussed big business with Pac-Man today. We're going to break it all down, ladies and gentlemen, because I thought that this was real significant. Ladies and gentlemen, the star power of a Shedeur Sanders, I repeat, belongs in New York City. Deion Sanders, he hinted at the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders if they get that number one pick is very critical. He outlined a lot. We got a lot of things to break down and discuss involving Coach Prime. Not only with Shedeur, we gotta have some things on Travis as well. Because he did speak on what may take place if the Raiders happen to be in position. I know that Shedeur sent out a lot of different smoke signals. A lot of people expected it was Vegas or nothing. Deion has already came out on record and said he will pull an Eli Manning. So that has everybody up in all. They don't know what's going to take place. I really believe that Deion and them, they just trying to, just cause a commotion, but not necessarily in a bad way, but just as much attention to this thing as possible. This guy, Shedeur Sanders, was born to play in the NFL. We got to understand that, number one. Shedeur Sanders is just his whole life, just being taught by his father, one of the greatest corners, in the history, of the game. A lot of people, there's a huge argument to say, was he the greatest player in NFL history? I've heard people put out Deion Sanders. I mean, he was that effective. I know that we got a lot of young people out there, that might not understand what's going on. But Deion Sanders, his history is just on a whole nother level. But let's get to the New York Football Giants, because, man, this would be big. But Deion Sanders, I repeat, can envision Shedeur Sanders in blue. Let's see what happens if they get that number one pick. But Adam Jones mentioned the Giants. He said how they hold the number one pick right now. The Raiders returned that slot Monday after a loss to the Falcons. Deion hinted that he has some inside information. Giants are not going to give up that pick. They're not going to give up that pick. That's what he said. He continuously repeated that the Giants are not going to give up that pick. And he said that he knows that for a fact. I believe that Deion and company, they know not only that the Giants, to me, is a good fit. They have a receiver there in place. They need a quarterback. That's just number one. They need a quarterback. And Shedeur walk in there with ice water in his veins. You're going to need a guy like that, ladies and gentlemen, a guy who was born to play in the NFL, because playing, even though, the Giants, they don't play necessarily in the heart of New York City, even though I wish that would change. I wish they would make something happen where we have NFL football in New York City. But these guys being in the tri-state area is going to the media, the scrutiny, and all of that stuff is going to take place. You represent New York at the end of the day. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he walks into that situation with ice water in his veins. And it's just going to be big time. And you never know what they may do, later on down the line in the draft. Last time I checked, Shiloh still may be out there. We don't know how much he may fall. Shiloh has had some injuries. We don't know his situation with the draft. Everybody's pretty much captivated on the Shedeur situation, on the Travis Hunter situation, on what's going to happen. To be honest with you, there's a whole lot of speculation until, all the dust settles. But it's clearly an arms race. When you see what's going on with the Giants, when you see what's going on with the Raiders, these teams ain't playing no games. They going for the pick. They know what's at stake. And what's at stake is the future. The future of their franchise. You talking about surefire players. A lot of drafts you don't know. This draft, you know Shedeur is born for this. Travis Hunter is just stamped. Everybody knows that this freak of nature in Travis Hunter, what he's going to bring to the table. It's very, I hate to continue to harp on this, but it's very unfortunate that we are about to see, not too long, their last game playing together. Like I said, these two, it seem like they have been attached to the hip, for the past couple of years. They have made history, in HBCU football. That now what you're seeing right now, Travis Hunter is proving that no matter what, he was that guy. And he's just a true trailblazer. And back to Shedeur, these two are going to play hand in hand because I do believe, the draft implications, is really standing with these two. And no, even though this is a deep draft, you got a lot of great quarterbacks out there. But like I told you before, you just don't know. You could say, oh, this one, you could say that one, but you've seen Shedeur do it at the HBC level. You've seen him come up to Colorado and do it. You understand? What the heck is next? The only thing next is the NFL. You understand? Where he was born to be. He look at all of the media attention. It's almost like they created a circus, in Colorado. They had a media circus frenzy that you would expect from a big major city or something like that. So he's going to be able to deal with some of the things that will be thrown his way as a New York Giant. And like I said, I want to repeat, you have Malik Neighbors there. You have an elite, dynamic receiver, right there for you. This guy's gonna blow up, in New York. This is what I want to see, man. We don't want to see guys like Shedeur Sanders tucked away somewhere. Shout out to Las Vegas, but come on, this is New York. This is the tri-state area. This is a whole nother breed. You understand? And a guy like Prime Son belongs in New York. Period. 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 Nobody could debate that it would just be a much bigger situation with the Giants. It just would be. Daniel Jones was not it. Not it. Now they finally get their guy who they're going to be able to ride off into the sunsets with and not have to worry. Now we just build up the rest of the roster. Hope if they land one of these other quarterbacks, shout out to Ewers and stuff like that. Quinn Ewers, he's a good player. You got a lot of other guys that's nice, but it's question marks. I believe that it's not many question marks with Shedeur Sanders. This is a surefire franchise quarterback for the next, series of years, period. And I'm telling you, he might fool around and get a Super Bowl. Let's not act like Tom Brady not behind this. I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure you hit the like button if you're new. Most definitely hit the subscribe button. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports TV.